I'm now joined on the line by Piper Perabo to talk about the upcoming season of Turn Up Charlie, which is aired on channel Netflix in the UK and Ireland. And Piper, I suppose, can you tell us a bit about this new hit comedy with yourself and Idris Elba starring?
Yeah, James, thanks. Yeah, it's a family comedy. It's a half hour, and it's sort of about this really wealthy family. The father is a movie star, and the mother is an international DJ, and they sort of drag their 11-year-old daughter around the world with them, and she's gotten really out of control. And so they bring on his best childhood friend, who used to be a DJ, to become the nanny. And so it's sort of the backstage world of international DJs, but with a kid.
Yeah, and I suppose, Piper, you play a character called DJ Sarah Kane, and you're sort of immersed in this sort of world, as you say, and you have a sort of a daughter then who's sort of cast in sort of the shadow as much, would you say? Play Frankie Hervey, who plays Gabrielle, who's looking out for, longing for attention from parents that just don't have the time really to give her the attention she needs.
Yeah, I think it's a story that a lot of people can relate to. I mean, we're not all giant DJs and movie stars, but especially as a woman with a family of my own, I understand that, like, when you have a full-time job and so does your partner, it's hard to give the kids all the attention they need, and having a full plate like that is something that people can relate to. So I feel like this will sort of look at that family dynamic, even though it's sort of an aspirational comedic look.
Yeah, and I suppose you touch on sort of important subjects as well, but we have to realise that this is a comedy and there's humour in it as well. And I suppose you're no averse to being in humorous comedy sort of movies for your time in relation to Cheaper by the Dozen with Steve Martin and all that. But this is a different sort of humour now in relation to dealing with the sort of an adult sort of immersed with sort of this youth sort of dynamic. And I suppose there's good laughs, but there's serious topics as well.
Yeah, it does deal with serious topics as well. I mean, she's kind of the girl who plays my daughter. Her name's Frankie, but in the show she's called Gabrielle.
Yep.
And she's in those kind of tween years where you're just starting adolescence. So you already think your parents are kind of idiots, but you're sort of tackling big problems for the first time on your own. So we do take those things seriously, but we also try and have a bit of fun with it too.
Yeah, and I suppose working under the creative influence of Idris Elba, and he being one of the main cast members of the show as well, it's sort of the dynamic of Idris's sort of character. He's Charlie Ayo, who's sort of being the long lost sheep who's just looking for that second chance and thinks he can sort of scapegoat of year success to get that opportunity for himself. So there's a bit of redemption. He's seeking sort of redemption himself.
Well, I think everybody can sort of relate to that idea when you have a dream, even if you're trying for a second chance at it, but you'll sort of pick any job, you know what I mean? When you really have a dream that you're going after. I know when I first started acting, you know, I moved here to New York City, and I was a waitress, and I worked at a bakery, and you've got all these weird jobs, and maybe Idris doesn't seem like the obvious nanny, but I think people who have a dream, especially in the arts, they'll work any kind of job to try and make that dream come true.
Yeah, and Idris, in relation to, Piper, in relation to the Turn Up Charlie, can you tell us how the opportunity came about for you to be cast as DJ Sarah Kane? Was it something your agent brought your attention, or how did it come to the world that Piper Perabo get cast in what was a sort of a British sort of comedy?
Well, I love working in the UK because I think the actors there are so good, and I'm a huge fan of Idris. I love The Wire, and I love Luther. So when I heard he was doing another TV show, I really wanted to be in it, even though I didn't know how to DJ. So I told them that I was interested, and then once I got the part, I went and flew to London and worked for a couple of months learning how to spin with a female DJ so that I could be ready by the time we started.
Yeah, and tell me, shooting in Britain and the UK and a sort of British-based comedy, how does it differ from the big production of Los Angeles and the States where you're shooting off maybe 20, 30 episodes for a season in relation to, I know in Turn Up Charlie you have 8 sort of episodes. How was the working to schedule in relation to shooting season 1 of Charlie?
Well, I think UK crews are really good. There's great cameramen and cinematographers, and the designers are all really strong. And what I like about shooting in London is that it's a really diverse city. I live in New York City, and I really think that cultural mix adds to the artistic ability of a show. And so I like this show because it was so diverse, and that's something that I'm always looking for in production. So that's why I live in New York, because I like that in our work here, and I like it in London, too. And then once we all knew each other, after 5 episodes, we flew to Spain, to Ibiza in Mallorca to shoot the last 3 episodes. And so it was so fun to all become friends and then fly off to the beach together in the high season in Ibiza. Whoa. Really fun.
And I suppose, Piper, people will look at yourself and Idris as probably maybe the 2 main stars of the show, but a budding light, a ray of sunshine comes to light in relation to Frankie Harvey, who plays Gabrielle, and she has that sort of Miss Endeavour sort of 11-year-old teen down to a T, and she really is a bright actress and definitely one for the future.
Yeah, she's really great. It's her first show, but you can tell she's such a star. She's so smart and such a curious young person that I know she's going to be big.
Yeah, and I suppose, Piper, as well, in relation to Turn Up Charlie, where do you see your character, Sarah Kane, developing in the future? Is it in relation to the more dynamic with that mother-daughter sort of bond, or do you think there's more areas where you can sort of explore the character that is Sarah Kane, and what angles or twists would you like to see her go down in hopefully in future seasons?
Well, there's 2 things that I want to explore. I think as Frankie's character grows up, it only gets more complicated for teenagers. She's starting at 11, but in the years going forward, I'm sure it's only going to get more complicated when she starts dating, when she starts going out at night. So I'm sort of looking forward to those storylines. But also because I play a DJ, we could shoot this in a lot of different places, Berlin, Miami, Dublin. So all those cities have big clubs in them, so I think it'd be fun to keep traveling with this show and also see how Frankie's character evolves.
Yeah, and I suppose, Piper, as well, you've obviously got to know most of the cast and some of the backstage cast, and you have people like Gus Kahn, who plays Dell, a sort of stoner man, and Angela Griffin, and they all bring positive attributes and contribution to the show as well, and it's sort of a well thought out cast, and there seems to be great harmony and integration between the lot of you, and you can see it's a sort of well run 30 minutes that everyone gets their bit part to say.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, Gus Kahn, who plays Belle, who plays Idris' friend, his show that you guys have in the UK, Man Like Mobile, that's been out for 3 seasons, but it just dropped here in New York. The first season just dropped. So now all my friends, once they've been through Turn Up Charlie, they're all watching Man Like Mobile. It's so annoying when you guys have more seasons than we do, because now I'm desperate to get back to the UK so I can see more seasons of your shows.
Yeah, and I suppose in relation to the relationship between Charlie and Sarah and going forward, do you think Charlie can sort of come out of the shadow in relation to that he finds himself and really form that bond and get that opportunity that he really desires and he craves?
Yeah, I think he's going to, I don't know, they haven't written the second season yet, and a lot depends on what Idris wants to do with it, but I think it'd be interesting to see what happens, if Charlie gets really famous, how his relationship with Gabriella evolves, and also how his relationship with Sarah evolves. Some people are good when they get fame, and some people can't handle it.
Yeah, and Piper Perabo, have you ever been to Ireland?
I have been to Ireland, but only for fun. I've never worked there.
And have you sort of any memories or any stories of your time that you would like to lighten our Irish audience about your time in Ireland?
Well, there's so many Irish poets that I like. My father is a poetry professor, so the only time that I flew into Ireland, I flew into Dublin, and I can't remember the name of the poet. There's this poem that starts, "Dublin made me in no little town," and my dad used to always say that poem, and so when I flew into Dublin, I could sort of hear it in my mind. It's such a romantic city because of all the great writers, so I'd like to come back.
Piper Perabo, we're now entering the final stages of the interview, and just maybe on a light note and a fun way to end the interview, Piper, we just want to question your knowledge about what you might know about Ireland. So it's just quick fire, sort of 10 questions. It's just a sort of light humour to finish the interview. Do you want to take part?
Okay, wish me luck.
Okay, so Piper Perabo, you're a celebrity. How well do you know Ireland? Question number 1. Can you name any colour of the Irish flag?
Yeah, orange, white, and green.
Correct. You've already said this before, so you know the answer to question 2 already. Can you name any county in Ireland?
Kirk.
Correct. Question number 3. Question number 3. March the 17th is known as what day worldwide?
I don't know. Bloody Sunday?
No, St. Patrick's Day. Question number 4.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day.
Question number 4. Which of these is a famous Irish tourism attraction? Is it A, the Cliffs of Moher, B, Brandenburg Gate, or C, Oystermouth Castle?
See?
It's A, the Cliffs of Moher, but B, Brandenburg Gate is in Germany and Oystermouth Castle is in Wales. Question number 5. Which of these is a famous Irish river? Is it A, the River Shannon, B, the River Rhine, or C, the River Leck? And there's a clue in this because one of the rivers is actually an airport in Ireland as well.
Well, I know it's with the Rhine. What was the third river?
The Leck. So it's the River Shannon.
I'll say
Yeah.
Shannon.
Correct.
That sounds Irish.
Correct. Question number 6, Piper Perabo. Can you name any famous Irish sports star? And I'll give you a hint. This guy was involved in all media outbursts last year, smashing a bus in New York, and he fought Floyd Mayweather in a mixed martial art. Notorious, likes to speak his mind. And his first name is Connor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, wait, I do know that guy. He has a big beard, and he always gets into fights when they're just, like, showing off their muscles at the beginning.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, though. The guy with the big beard?
We'll take it. It's Conor McGregor, Piper Perabo. Question number...
Oh, yeah, Conor McGregor. Oh.
Question number 7. Can you name the famous alcoholic beer that was founded in Ireland and it's known worldwide?
Get it.
Correct. Question number 8. Ireland was once occupied by what country? And you were shooting Turnip Charlie in that country.
Britain.
Yeah, we'll give it England. Yeah, it was occupied by England.
England.
Yeah. And question number 9. Which plant or shrub is the national symbol of Ireland?
The four-leaf clover?
Correct. And finally, Piper Perabo, can you name any famous Irish actor or musician?
Yeah. You too?
Correct. So Piper Perabo on our quiz, I'm a celebrity, how well do you know Ireland? You scored 6 out of 10. I suppose, Piper, before we leave you, I suppose this is probably the most difficult question in the interview I'm going to ask you. If someone asked you to put your character, Sarah Kane, and it was in a dictionary, and they left 2 blank sentences underneath that, and it said, Piper Perabo would like to be remembered in a role as Turn-Up Charlie for playing Sarah Kane, what would you like those 2 sentences to read?
She is survived by her friends and her family.
And on the touching note, we'll leave it now to Sarah Kane for the final 30 seconds. Why should she tell all our Irish audience tuning in? Why should they turn on to channel Netflix UK and watch on their screens Turn Up Charlie? Over to you, Sarah.
I hope that everyone there will turn and watch Turn Up Charlie because the music is so good and I know how much you love good music in Ireland.
On that touching note, Piper Perabo, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you on the airwaves this evening. We wish you all the best in your future endeavour. We wish you all the best in Turn Up Charlie. Hopefully there'll be many more seasons to come. And what I'll be say is, a Céad Míle Fáilte to Piper Perabo and take care.
Thanks, you take care too.
Thank you.